What was that sickly sweet scent hanging in the trees? Why did it pull me deeper off the path, as if something was calling my name? And what would I have done if the thing calling me back was already dead? If you're watching this alone, maybe don't, but if you're into true horror, subscribe and we'll keep you up to night. A few years ago, I decided to take the long way back home through the woods. The trail markers faded behind me until I was deep in a tangle of saplings, ferns, and fallen branches. Dusk was settling in, painting the sky a bruised purple, and the air felt unnaturally still. That's when I noticed it. A heady, cloying sweetness, like rotting candy scented with wildflowers, drifting on the breeze. Curiosity won out. I ducked beneath low-hanging branches and shoved aside a curtain of brambles. My hand met slick, damp earth and decaying leaves. Beneath the undergrowth lay a man, his once familiar shape twisted and swollen by days of decay. His skin had turned mottled green and black, and insects swarmed like vultures around exposed bone. I froze, but fascination turned to panic as I realized how alone I was. I pulled out my phone, but of course there was no signal. My breath came in ragged gasps. I wanted to turn and run, but something kept me rooted. The need to know who he was, why he was here, and how long he had been sleeping this eternal sleep. I knelt beside him, heart hammering, stomach churning as flies burrowed into the open wounds at his neck and temple. I tapped 911 with trembling fingers. The operator's voice crackled through, calm and professional. They said they'd dispatch someone, but in these woods, soon could mean hours. Night fell like a guillotine. My phone's light bobbed over the corpse's ravaged face, illuminating a slack jaw that almost looked like it was smirking at me. My shadow slithered across the clearing, lurching toward the body in the way my mind felt drawn to it. Every crack of a twig sent my heart racing. Every rustle in the underbrush had me convinced something alive lurked just beyond the beam of light. Time dragged. The forest seemed alive with whispers. I kept glancing over my shoulder, half expecting to see the corpse disappear into the trees. I tried to think of anything else. My family, my job, my cat waiting at home. But the longer I sat, the louder the woods seemed to breathe around me, and the more the dead man's presence felt like a weight pressing into my soul. What would you do in this situation? Drop your answer in the comments because this next part, it gets worse. When the police finally arrived, flashlights cutting through the darkness, uniforms crisp even in the gloom, they told me the man had committed suicide. He'd hanged himself in this very spot days earlier, they said, and the wildlife had picked him clean. Suicide, a word that ended everything, but also, somehow, left the story begging questions. What makes a man choose emptiness beneath a canopy of trees? And why, seconds after the officers lifted the coroner's tarp, did I feel a breath on the back of my neck? As they dragged the body away, I realized the scent hadn't completely vanished. It clung to my clothes, to my skin, as if the man's soul had seeped into mine. I went home that night feeling hollow, voiceless. The forest was quiet, but inside me, a storm was brewing. That night I dreamed. He was there, his swollen face inches from mine, eyes black hollows cutting into my chest. He whispered that I had violated his rest. He told me I deserved what he got, that his pain was mine to carry now. He urged me, softly, lovingly, to do what he did. The world melted into rot and honeyed air, and I woke up screaming. In the days that followed, the dreams came again, and again. Sometimes his voice was a pleading child, other times a mocking jester. My phone would buzz at 3:07 a.m. with a single message, "Why won't you join me?" But when I checked, there was nothing. No number, no sender, just the timestamp mocking me. Friends stared when I told them I couldn't shake a smell of decay from my clothes or stop hearing rasping laughter as I closed doors behind me. I moved to a new apartment, changed my phone, even tried therapy, but it felt like drowning in quicksand. The harder I fought, the deeper I sank. Every forest I passed on a drive made my chest tighten. Every stray dog made me think of those vultures. Now, years later, I still see him, not just in dreams, sometimes in reflections, in the corner of my eye, standing outside my window on rainy nights. He's patient. He knows my fears. He waits for me to be alone, then knocks from the safety of the dark, reminding me that the boundary between the living and the dead is thinner than a breath. And tonight, as you sit there wondering if it's all in my head, remember, curiosity killed more than the cat. If you made it to the end, you're braver than most. Subscribe for more stories that'll keep you up. And maybe lock your doors tonight.